Hey everyone, welcome to this quick introduction to the step sequencer on push 2. This is push for life, and let's get going. So I've got an empty MIDI track loaded up right now. So the first thing we need to do in order to access the step sequencer is we need to load up some drum sounds. So we'll go on push browse right here, and now if you just scroll down to drums and then scroll through here, you get access to tons of really great presets that come with Ableton Live. I'm actually going to go over here and just access some of my own sounds. I'm going to load up an 808 classic preset. It's exactly the same as the Ableton one, but I just have the pad set up a little differently. So now you can see we've got these colored pads down here. Up here there's no colors, and here there's just two white pads. The way the step sequencer works on push 2 is it's basically divided into 3 parts. The bottom left hand corner, which is a 4x4 matrix, this is where the sounds live. Okay, now the top 32 pads, which is a 4x8 matrix, this is the actual step sequencer itself. And this bottom right hand corner, which is also a 4x4 matrix that has 2 white pads lit up right now, this is the length of the loop that we'll be creating. So let's get right down to it. Basically, the way the step sequencer works is when I select a pad right here, now this one's white, that means it's selected. All of these pads up here relate to that particular pad that is selected. And the way it works is, for those of you who know a little bit of music theory, these are all, as of the default preset, 16th notes. So we move through the top row like this. 1 E and 2 E and then the second row is 3 E and 4 E and. So these top 2 rows are basically 1 bar. And the bottom 2 rows are the second bar, which is really simple. So if, say for instance, we take this bass drum right here, and we wanted to play it on the 1, 2, 3, and 4 of each bar, we'd select it like this. So it's 1 E, let me just switch it off, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E, and then we'll do the same for the second bar. So it's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now if I push play, let me just make sure the tempo's at 120 BPM right now, it'll sound like this. See, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now that's pretty simple. So now let's put in, say, a snare drum, for instance. Okay, so this is the snare pad. Now, as you can see, all of the colored pads have disappeared, and the reason being is that now the step sequencer part up here relates to the snare drum pad. So if I push play right now, you can still hear the bass drum, but you can't see it, because in order to see it, I'd have to push this button again, and now you can see the pads. So let's go back to the snare. And what we'll do right now is we'll put the snare on the 2 and the 4 of each bar. So if we go through it again, it's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and the same again, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Okay, so when I push play now, we have a very, very basic beat. Okay, now it wouldn't be a proper beat without some hi-hats, so let's put some hi-hats in. Okay, let me push stop right now. So I have my closed hi-hats right here. Now a typical hi-hat pattern would be 8th notes. So 8th notes are every second 16th note. So we have 1 E and, so that'd be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, and 4 E and the same here. Okay, so let's push play. And there you have it. You've got your very, very first basic beat to get you going on the push sequencer. Now, I'll leave this playing for the moment. If you take a look here, these colors keep switching back and forth. That's because it's basically showing you this is a 2-bar loop, and the green light is basically showing you where you are in the 2-bar loop. So this is the first bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. That's how to play a very basic beat in the Ableton Push 2 step sequencer. There you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you later.